Everywhere you look, detached homes in Vancouver are still listed for sky-high prices. But behind the scenes, a quiet correction is unfolding. Homes that used to sell within days are now sitting for months at a time. And in certain pockets, sellers are taking losses in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not because the entire market has crashed, but because some types of detached homes have completely fallen out of favor. My name is Shahrad Sardari, a realtor here in Metro Vancouver, and in this video, we're breaking down the 5 specific types of detached homes that are losing money right now, the ones that are struggling the most to sell, and what it actually says about how the Vancouver market is shifting. If there's one type of home that's been hit the hardest, is houses that do not have a rental suite. A detached house without a basement suite, secondary suite, or laneway home has become a financial nightmare for many owners. When rates were 2%, people could stretch. Lifestyle mattered more than numbers, but when your monthly mortgage payments has doubled, every buyer becomes an accountant. Let's put that into perspective. A $2 million mortgage at today's interest rates runs close to $10,000 a month, once you include taxes and insurance. Add a small basement suite renting for $2,000 a month, and suddenly that cost drops to $8,000 a month. That's not a luxury, that's survival, and buyers are fully aware of it. They're willing to pay more for a home that has a basement suite because they can actually afford it in the long term. We're seeing it everywhere. East Van, Renfrew Heights, and even parts of South Van. 2 nearly identical homes can have a $200,000 price difference purely because one generates rental income. And what's worse is that some owners did have that safety net, but they got rid of it. During the boom, a lot of homeowners converted their suites back into living space because at the time, they didn't need the rental income. However, it made sense when rates were low and homes were selling instantly. But now, those same owners are realizing they've made a costly mistake. Without that mortgage helper, their home is harder to sell. They're bleeding thousands every month in carrying costs, and buyers are skipping over them for the house next door that still has its suite. Many of them are now regretting the renovation because what used to feel like an upgrade, more open space, more cohesive home, has become a financial liability for them. Homes without that flexibility, well, they sit. Weeks turn into months, showings dry up, and sellers end up slashing prices just to compete. Even for high-income buyers, the logic is simple. Having that rental suite means options. They can host family, offset costs, and rent it out later if rates climb. It's a safety net that pure single-use homes just don't offer anymore. So while detached homes will always be aspirational, the ones that don't generate income are rapidly losing their appeal. And in this market, that's a direct hit to their value. Number 2 are detached homes that are not actually fully detached. These homes are losing serious value because they're confusing buyers. They look detached, they're marketed as detached, but they're not actually truly detached. This one confuses a lot of buyers, so let's clear it up right away. Across Vancouver, there's a growing number of homes that look like regular detached houses. They have their own front door, driveways, and even small yards. But legally, they're not fully detached properties. These are what the city calls bare land strata or shared lot homes. And here's what that means in simple terms. Instead of owning the land outright, your home sits on a larger parcel that's shared with a few other neighbors. You technically own the building, but you only own a fraction of the land underneath the building. It's like a hybrid between a detached house and a townhouse. You still get your own space, but you also share certain things with your neighbors, like insurance, landscaping, private laneways, or shared driveways. Sometimes there's even a small monthly fee to cover those shared expenses, like a strata. And just like a condo or townhouse strata, these developments come with bylaws and restrictions that every owner has to follow. That means you can't always do whatever you want with your property. Things like repainting the exterior, adding fences, replacing windows, or changing landscaping often require written approval from the strata or other owners. There are rules about noise, parking, even how you maintain the outside of your own home. So even though it looks detached, in practice it functions very much like a strata property, just without the shared hallways or elevators. When the market was hot, nobody cared about that. People saw detached homes on the MLS, didn't bother checking the legal details, and just wanted to get into the market. But in today's slower market, buyers are far more cautious, and these properties are starting to suffer. Because once buyers learn that they don't fully own the land, the perception of value changes instantly. Most people buy detached homes for one main reason: freedom. They want to be able to renovate, rebuild, and make decisions without asking someone else's permission. So when they find out there are bylaws, shared maintenance rules, or restrictions on what they can do with their exterior, it's a deal breaker. It also doesn't help that financing can be more complicated. Some lenders treat these homes almost like strata units, which can affect appraisal and make approval slower or stricter. As a result, these homes end up stuck in the middle. Too expensive for buyers comparing them to townhomes, and not independent enough for buyers comparing them to true detached houses. And that's exactly why they're losing so much value right now. They sit longer on the market, require heavier price cuts, and usually sell for significantly less than similar sized homes with full freehold ownership. We've seen identical looking homes in the same neighborhood, same square footage, same finishes, with price differences hundreds of $1,000s apart purely because of this legal structure. So if you're ever shopping for a detached home in Vancouver, this is something you have to check before you fall in love. Look at the property's title, and if you see the word strata anywhere, run away. In a market where buyers want simplicity, flexibility, and control, these hybrid detached homes have become one of the weakest performing segments in Vancouver, and it's catching a lot of sellers off guard. Before we move on to the next one, if you're finding this interesting, then subscribe to the channel and like the video, so you're always in the know. And if you want me to cover a specific topic, leave it in the comments. Number 3 is luxury homes. This is where the biggest dollar value losses are showing up. During the last real estate boom, developers in neighborhoods like Dunbar, Arbutus, and Shaughnessy went on a building spree, creating massive custom-built homes aimed at wealthy buyers. High ceilings, imported marble, 10 bathrooms, everything designed to look absolutely impressive. The problem is, that type of buyer is now gone. Foreign investment has slowed, high-end financing has become expensive, and even affluent local buyers have shifted their mindset. They're no longer chasing size, they're chasing efficiency, design, and livability. Let's talk about cost for a second. A $5 million home with a $3 million mortgage costs around $18,000 a month to carry. Add property taxes and insurance, maintenance and utilities, and you're spending close to $250,000 a year just to own it. And even for buyers who can't afford that, the question is, why would they? Many of these homes are now stylistically outdated. Heavy stone exteriors, oversized dining rooms, double kitchens, ornate chandeliers. They look impressive, but they don't fit modern living. Meanwhile, a newer, smaller, energy-efficient home in the same area might feel far more practical and cost half as much to maintain. That's why these luxury homes are now sitting for months and often selling well below their original asking prices. Developers who spec built them are slashing prices just to cover financing, while owners who bought during the boom are realizing they're never getting their money back. Luxury real estate in Vancouver used to be seen as untouchable. Now, it's one of the riskiest segments in the market. Proof that no price point is immune when buyers stop seeing value. Number 4 is older character homes without updates. There was a time when these were the most beloved homes in the city. Old craftsmanship houses in Kitts, Mount Pleasant, and Grandview Woodlands. Full of charm, wood detailing, and a sense of history. But right now, that character is often translates to costs. These homes are beautiful to look at, but they're expensive to maintain and even more expensive to modernize. Many still have knob and tube wiring, outdated plumbing, and drafty windows. Energy efficiency is poor, and repairs rarely qualify for basic insurance discounts. And here's where things really fall apart. Renovation costs have exploded. Between building permit delays, material inflation, and labor shortages, even small projects turn into six-figure expenses. That's why so many buyers are walking away from older homes altogether. They're tired of inheriting someone else's problem. They'd rather buy something newer, maybe smaller, but move-in ready. So unless a character home sits on a prime redevelopment lot or holds heritage value in a high-demand pocket, it's losing money very fast. In some cases, buyers are valuing the land more than the structure itself, which means sellers are getting land value offers for homes that once thought were irreplaceable. It's a harsh reality, but it reflects a major shift in what buyers prioritize today: functionality over nostalgia. And finally, homes on Main Street or near heavy redevelopment zones. This has always been a tougher category, but right now it's even worse. Busy streets like Kingsway, Boundary, or Cambie used to attract buyers who were looking for a deal. You'd trade a bit of noise for a much lower price point. It made sense when the market was hot and choices were limited. But today, that trade-off doesn't work anymore. There's too much construction, too much congestion, and buyers have far more options deeper inside residential neighborhoods. Many of these arterial roads have been rezoned for higher density. That means long-term construction, trucks, cranes, blocked lanes, and constant noise. Even though the future potential might be great once everything's complete, the short-term livability is awful. Buyers want peace and quiet, especially when they're spending $2 million or more. And developers who used to scoop up these homes for assembly have slowed down as well. With higher interest rates and stricter financing, many projects have been delayed or shelved altogether. So, what you're left with are sellers sitting on properties that neither families nor builders want anymore. Meanwhile, a quieter home just a few blocks away sells instantly at a stronger price. It's a perfect example of how market value isn't just about the land, it's about quality of life as well. And right now, living beside a construction corridor is one of the fastest ways to lose value in Vancouver's detached market. Vancouver's detached market isn't crashing, it's splitting. Homes that are functional, flexible, and well located are holding firm. But homes that are noisy, outdated, overbuilt, or come with hidden complications are quietly losing ground every single month. The gap between strong inventory and weak inventory has never been wider. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, you need to understand where your property fits in this shift. Because in this market, that difference can easily mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can subscribe to the channel here or watch another video here.